Hello guys, welcome to 3ds Max news for the month of November. Let's start with 3ds Max 2026 Update 3. We get conform modifier improvements. Now the conform, that it's this modifier that it's really fast to conform or move vertex from one mesh to another, now has the distance fall off parameter when we are using the shrink wrap projection method. The modifier has a maximum distance value that determines how far it will search to find a hit on the target. The fall-off value is added to the distance to create an influence fall-off similar to a soft selection. We have now an animatable index for Material Switcher. Material Switcher was introduced a couple of versions ago. Now it's possible not only to switch between different materials, but we can animate them. You can dynamically switch between 9,999 materials now. And USD for 3ds Max keeps improving, now version 0.13. And it's introducing now the Autodesk Asset Resolver that allows USD to understand path tokens and utilize environment variables for asset resolution. You can now author new USD stage in memory, not needing anymore to start with a file already on disk. The ability to shift drag for copy prims in viewport, rename, delete, and reparent prims. USD exporter now improved with shell material support to improve publishing pipelines and also Material X support. The Max script documentation for USD has been also updated, so a lot of improvements on USD, check it out. Arnold for 3ds Max has been updated to Max 2A 5.8.3.2. Now, scenes with global light sampling renders up to 2.5 times faster. There has been improvements on the GPU with many small lights and glossiness materials. You get up to 3 times faster performance, faster render on volumes on GPU, up to 3.3 times faster. A new inference imager is doing image-to-image machine learning models using the ONNX framework, creating very interesting results as you can see here. Improvements on thin wall subsurface in OpenPBR, and quite a lot of improvements on the HTML reports and others. You can check the Autodesk list for further details because there's quite a lot of bug fixes and speed improvements here and there. There has been other improvements, one that I think is quite substantial and can look small, but it's a big one if you work with Material Editor. Now we had improvements on the thumbnail caching in the Slate Material Editor. Now it holds unique thumbnails for different color management settings, so it doesn't need anymore to constantly redraw thumbnails when you change the color management system in settings. In addition, it also allows to turn off the Update Browser Samples option. This will stop re-rendering the samples and just reading the ones that are stored on disk. So you store on disk all the thumbnails and they don't need to be recreated constantly, making it working with Material Editor way faster. And that's it for 3ds Max 2026.3, not a huge update, but small things here and there. We saw Timeline Pro last month in action, now it's available as an open beta in GitHub. Try it for free and give feedback and bugs and features that you would like to see improved. Timeline Pro is a non-linear clip-based editing tool. It captures automatically an object keyframes and converts them into a self-contained animation. You can move, trim, scale, and adjust the duration of animation clips directly on the timeline, and has hierarchically support. You can organize the clips into vertical tracks. Upper layers can override or blend with the layers below. It's quite similar to After Effects. It has been rewritten to be using GPU instead of CPU for some speed improvements on the UI to get a very smooth experience. FumeFX guys has been showing off the work that they are doing for the upcoming FumeFX 7.2. Now adding GPU support, they claim that now it's 2 to 5 times faster simulations with even more potential to keep optimizing it in the future. They claim the below simulation works between 14 to 17 frames per second on an RTX 4090 graphics card. On the FumeFX Facebook group, they are showcasing the complete GPU viewport rework. They can render all those grids directly on viewport and with full simulation detail. Also, they have been showing a two-way coupling test where a rigid body and FumeFX interact one with each other. So the FumeFX interacts with the rigid body, making it move up, but the rigid body has as well some resistance for the FumeFX. And they have a Black Friday 10% discount right now in FumeFX. And you can see it on my website that I add a Black Friday special deals related to 3ds Max. You will see this discount, and I will keep adding discounts on this website as more discounts and codes are available. So check it out. I will be posting everything related to 3ds Max on my website. On Patreon, this November we get 2 tutorials. One, how to add dynamics to our tree with a very fast moving object. We have a meteor, and it's kind of like moving the trees with the branches and the leaf. Some tips and tricks to get stable simulations to use when you are dealing with these very fast collisions. Over 1 hour tutorial covering a lot of things. And in another tutorial we are covering fuzzy logic in TypeFlow. That is quite an interesting subject. Color libraries has been released. It allows to quickly pick raw colors for your materials. It's also flexible, allowing to add additional color libraries. It supports Max 2026 to 2024, and it's totally free. Check it out. If you need to transfer FBX Mixamo animations to a Smart Anim, that is the new rig system in 3ds Max, Sakib did a tutorial showcasing how to do it in YouTube, including the free script that you can download for free. You will see the link to the script on the comments. It's on a Google Drive, so you can get it and follow the tutorial to be able to transfer Mixamo animations to a Smart Anim to keep refining your animation. And a Spotlight generator is a script from Archviz Tools that allows to create fast and efficiently IES lights, compatible with 3ds Max 2018 and newer, and it's compatible with the renders Corona and V-Ray, and it's a free script too. Our section 3ds Max rules. We start very strong. Lucas Piazzini is a junior generalist at Industrial Light and Magic, created this amazing shot for a competition called Rampage Rally Challenge by Punisher, where he won the 3rd place. He created this amazing sci-fi environment with robots in rollerblades, some destruction, with a huge crowd stadium, and it's inspired by Alita Battle Angel. He has a very detailed breakdown in ArtStation, where we can see how he animated in Cascadeur. Multiple Steam simulations were done with EmberGen, and the sparks were done in Houdini. And we can see that in 3ds Max he did most of the modeling work with a procedural system based on splines to create the road and the railing system. The crouch system has been done using ForestPack with random per instance shaders to create different variations of the diffuse color with custom clothing and a skin mask. Very interesting to see that all scattered lights on the stadium has been populated as well with ForestPack to scatter complex light setups that they can animate and control nulls all at once, so it will drive with one null, he will drive multiple lights. All this has been compact in Nuke. This is a very well detailed breakdown, check it out, a lot of information there and super interesting to see how all this has been done. Adam Lauriol created Orion, City of Dawn. It's a CG environment as a personal work, doing a wide shot of a city, kind of a futuristic Greek concept, done in 3ds Max using ForestPack, Maya, V-Ray and Nuke. And Arthur Huang shared his more than impressive demo reel with animation and using Biped, showcasing impressive skills, transmitting great sense of weight and scale. You can really feel the weight of all these characters and they look amazing. Again, one more time, 3ds Max, Biped, this is top quality work. So yeah, you can do great animation in 3ds Max. And I am sorry, I cannot pronounce your name, but this artist created this great shot using TypeFlow for the shattering effects, smoke done in EmberGen, and all rendered in FStorm. all converging into this mechanical assembly. But yeah, very cool distractions and different debris and RBD work. San Sarahian did this personal full CG artwork called Mars Travelers, covering a futuristic city in Mars, using 3ds Max, V-Ray, Phoenix FD, Substance 3D Painter, and you can see a glimpse of the modeling and texturing in 3ds Max, as well the animation and simulation done in 3ds Max. Hey, there is still people using particle flow, and looking pretty good. Damien Peynoid shared his work at Blur for Love, Death and Robots 4, The Spider Rose. As he says, most of the modeling was done in polys, using 3ds Max and ZBrush for close-ups, hero details and rocks. Railclone driving the procedural parts of the main mecha structure. Textures were done in Substance Painter with a lot of UDIMs to cover that massive piece of machinery. Even Jill shared on a Stack group on Facebook the work that his team did at Gearbox for Borderlands 4, with lots of 3ds Max used at the studio. We can see a huge amount of artwork from characters, models, assets, animations. I am a big fan of the first 3 games, love the ability to play co-op on the same screen, and we'll need to try this one at some point, looking amazing. Simon Ray has been sharing clips of the medical animations that his company is doing to help scientific showcase for the general public how medicaments and microorganisms works. They are all amazingly beautiful, done with Tyflow and rendered with FStorm. Check his website to see plenty of really cool and eye-catchy distractions and transformations oriented to scientific visualizations that sometimes, if you're into visual effects, you don't think about these things, but not that much different than a VFX for a big movie. We can see distractions, kind of like magic, a lot of particle work, and it looks amazing. Alexei Pavlov showcased how he's using the old Tyflow beta and code with pure C code, a real-time fluid simulation using 90,000 particles. He claims that this has been simulated in a laptop. That's pretty cool. And also we have a Keep Amat also sharing in Tyflow group in Facebook an attempt to a procedural traffic system where cars will stop at traffic lights and can go straight or turn to an intersection. And yeah, it's a concept, but it's looking very good. And in Stack group in Facebook, we have a very fun one. Joe Pizzini sharing how he's controlling his Philips Hue LED lights on his house, the real physical lights, using the 3ds Max interface. That's pretty cool, I never thought about that. How it works with MaxScript code monitors the light changes, so when you modify a light properties, the color, the intensity, on or off states, the scripts capture the RGB and intensity, and then a Python orchestrator converts the RGB color space to a CIE 1931XY format. I have no idea what this is, but that's what he says. With the gamma correction, so the viewport matches exactly the physical bulbs as much as possible, and changes propagate to the network. He says that it's in under 200 milliseconds. I love this type of projects, it's amazing to be able to do these things. And yeah, very creative way to use 3ds Max to control the lights at your house. And another very amazing test mixing real media with 3ds Max, we have Christian Devenay that created a virtual camera for 3ds Max with his phone. As you can see, the phone gyro is linked to the 3ds Max camera. So in one side, the phone directly drives the 3ds Max camera. You can move it, rotate it, and the camera inside Max will do exactly the same as the motion as you are doing in your phone. But also he gets the feed of the viewport directly on his phone. So very cool to get a virtual camera and to get very realistic shots. He will be doing some retouches on this plugin script and he will share it next week. So check it out. We have the incredible studio Make sharing how they did this commercial for Hess Corporation, doing an hybrid of live action, capturing with a lot of set enhancements using 3ds Max to do the post-production. So you can see how they are shooting it and how they are using 3ds Max for populating this stadium and the final compositions looking amazing. Also, Make is working on a new series that will be called Mythic Co. The theme for November was SOMM Antiques. They had 5 different artists where each one had 3 hours to animate a scene featuring characters from this upcoming series. They captured in a time-lapse workflow all what they are doing, and you can see it here, how they are working and how they are animating in real time all these characters. And as you can see, Make always, they are based in 3ds Max. They was the first ones using Typeflow on the studio, and a big 3ds Max company doing amazing stuff. Luke Penry is working on a new short called Tilt. Very minimalistic style, but great outcome. You can see a couple of sequences that you can see from this new short that we will see it. I hope that we can see it soon. It looks very, very good. And let's finish with a blast from the past. We have Tom Hudson, co-creator of 3D Studio, share this remastered version of this short that he did in 1990, 35 years ago, as a promotion for 3D Studio 2 Release 1. It's called Cornerstone, telling the story of a building corner store who dreams of getting out and going to the beach. Kind of like a crazy story. This was created in a week on a single 20 MHz 2386 computer. There's a full story about this short, you can check it out, and Tom explains how he lost the original short and he ended trying to recreate the shot, restoring the old files that were over 20 years old. Check the story because it's very interesting, and here you have part of 3ds Max history. Pretty amazing stuff. And on learning, we have Cinematic Automotive Lighting course. Has a very interesting course oriented to people working on the car visualization industry. They are teaching how to use 3ds Max and Unreal to create cinematic and realistic car scenes that can be for movies or the car industry. This course is £79. ForestPack created a basic tutorial for 3ds Max covering all the basics in this 23 minutes tutorial. If you are learning environment, check this tutorial because in 23 minutes they cover almost everything in ForestPack. A lot of information, pretty cool to have it all together. And Lucas created this very popular tutorial covering how to do imperfections in different materials using V-Ray and Arnold. But those techniques can be really applied to any renderer. Droplet remainders from rain, fingertips, scratches, imperfections on glass, all those small details that add life and turn CG image into a more reliable renders that they feel real. Very cool. The video is having a lot of views, but it's a very interesting topic. Check it out if you want to push your renderers to a more realistically. And that's it for the month of November, guys. Thank you so much. A lot of cool stuff, new 3ds Max, a lot of new plugins and scripts. Check my website, I will keep updating it. So next week we will get way more discounts for 3ds Max related stuff. So if you need to buy anything 3ds Max, plugins, scripts, models, check it out. You will get the best discounts from all the year around. And thanks a lot to all my Patreons that help me keep doing these videos, doing cool tutorials in Patreon, and yeah, sharing with all of you guys. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.